Hello, Dave.
Without doubt, I would agree.
Yeah.
Without doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah. Just
Good.
wondering,
The reason I
are
use
you on
speakerphone-
speakerphone?
Yeah. Well, I could. I have to pull out my laptop to look at my reports, but
Oh, no
tell me if
problem.
I'm
Yeah.
coming clear.
Yeah, you're coming clear. And
Okay,
also,
excellent. I'll talk
yeah.
louder if I have to.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start off with some special recognitions. Today's a special day here in Cranberry for the Erickson family and the Gamblin family. It's the passing of Delia, again my accent, Delia, who passed away on January 20th, and they're now today having a ceremony and a feast for her. They're going to bury her ashes today at the graveyard in Cranberry Portage. And so to Jeff Erickson and the rest of the family, from Janice Yakachuk, Derek Danielson. Yesterday we went out fishing and donated fish to the feast that's taking place, and they came to express their appreciation here this morning at Janice's house. So again, it's an important day for that family, and prayers go out to them. Also, I want to recognize again the passing of somebody very special who passed away from St. Boniface, and of course she was the president of Le Union Nationale Métis. And so she was a very nice lady. I met her on many occasions. So I had a chance to dialogue with her, and I again commend the Union Nationale Métis for always protecting the French language. That's one of the things the government of Canada truly fails on properly acknowledging and recognizing and funding. It's actually a constitutional obligation that French language is to be protected in this country. As we know, we have many Métis citizens who speak the French language. They're not French Métis. There's no such thing as a French Métis. They do speak the French language, as they speak Michif, and some speak Sioux like me, and Cree, and different dialects that we have. But Paulette and her, Le Union Nationale did a great job in trying their best to ensure that they can get funding to promote the French language. So to her family and from the Métis government, we wish her a safe journey to her new home. And again, it's important to recognize the dedication, hard work she had done for many, many times. Also, I want to say a special, condolences to the Elizabeth Descharmes family. She passed away. Lizzie was her name. Luxto, we called her from Duck Bay. That was her nickname. And she passed away, and she's now going to have, I think the funeral happened on Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday was Wake, Thursday at Cropo Funeral Home. I want to say, again, a special, for myself, condolences to Bola, the rest of the family members that are still alive today. And Lizzie grew up in Camperville, where she spent many years picking blueberries in the Kettle Hills with her family. She got married into Duck Bay. She worked at a fish plant back home, and she did many, many things. And she was always, she loved to cook, and playing cards and bingo were her specialty. So again, to the Descharmes family, and kudos to all the family that, look forward to trying to celebrate their mom at the same time, but wish with sorrow the passing of their mom, but knowing full well their mom's gone to a new home and a new place to rest. Also, I want to say some special birthdays before I get to work here on work subjects. Happy 70th birthday is going to Grant Anderson, who's celebrating his birthday today, Saturday, August 23rd. Happy 62nd birthday is going to Associate Minister Mildred Dorian from Thompson. Happy birthday on Thursday, August 28th. Happy 80th birthday is going to Vinko Sarek. Of course, that's Elder Linda St. Cyr's husband, who's celebrating his birthday on Friday, August 29th. So, again, a special birthday. I'm sure she's going to spoil her husband there. Also, I want to thank other people that participate, like Derek Danielson and I were fishing yesterday as we come out to fish here for the elders now. And it's a tough work. You don't come home till pitch dark. And we got back, I think, about close to 11:30, 12 o'clock last night. And so they finished filleting about 1:30 this morning, or 2 o'clock. And so he made sure that the fish that were being donated to the Erickson Gamblin family were boneless. And if there's any bones, they could blame me, because I try to help out, and I'm not a good fileter. So I want to make sure I said a special thank you to Derek and his team. Also, Dale Don was here this morning. A friend of mine, he lives in Cranberry. Just for all the hockey fans out there, he said this is the year for Montreal Canadiens. Now, I don't know about that one. So I know Boston, I think, is out of it for a while. They're rebuilding, and Philly is never going to have a chance. I don't know how long they're going to take to rebuild, but he's coming here bragging about Montreal Canadiens. So I want people to send messages out there. Do you believe that the Montreal Canadiens, it's their year? I know Will Goodon believes that, and Dale Don believes it, but definitely not I. And also a special ode to Dennis Atch and Bill Atch. It's coming from myself and Buggy. And I also want to say a special kudos to my granddaughters coming from her grandma. Janice can't tell you how proud she is of Martha entering university. Before I left to come out here, she was just excited, and she is shopping for some stuff and getting ready for finding a parking pass and choosing her courses and choosing the credits, how much credits she's going to take. She needs 60-something credits, I think, to enter to law school before she passes that section. And I think the first course is about 12 credits. I think you get 3 or 4 credits per course. So she's got some journey yet to go through. So I definitely wish her a very proud time. And also some Buggy to Muriel Danielson. She's out to Brandon. She's leaving the small village of Cranberry and heading out to Brandon University. So kudos to you. And she's afraid and nervous, but thank God she's living with her sister Tanisha out in Brandon. Also, a happy 58th wedding anniversary. I've seen this to Marlene and Clifford Puffle. I don't know if I say it right. I always have a hard time with that name. Maybe you could help me there, Delarond. Am I saying it right?
That's how I always say it there, boss. So I think you're close enough. We're the same then.
That's from James, come to for his mom and dad. They'll know who James is. And then happy 49th wedding anniversary is going to Judy and Marvin Mayer. We're celebrating their anniversary on Thursday, August 28th. Okay, that takes care of that list of stuff I have all written all over my paper here. Now to get to some work. We had an update. I don't know if Kyra's been giving some updates on the evacuation. Some of the good news is that people are now in reserves, and some of the Métis villages that people live in are able to go home. Some can't yet, of course. There's some villages and reserves that are not ready, and it's going to take some time for hydro to hook up based on the fact the fires were in locations where they can't just enter and put a new hydro pole in to replace it. It's going to take some time, and so some people will still be at loss of being not home. And we, again, send our best prayers to them, each and every one of them, because a lot of them are actually lonely and want to go home. This one gentleman was telling me in Nepal, he said this one guy put a backpack on his back and he took off. He's walking to Puckatawagan. He said, I'm going home. I come hell or high water. I'm going home. I can't stand it no more. He wants to go back to his reserve. So although Puckatawagan is not ready, but he's going home. He said, I can't live out like this anymore. So you can tell the frustration, the stress that's happening to many of them. But again, for those that are going home, I'm sure they're very, very excited to know that there's at least a time frame that's being established. And again, I want to thank Kyra and of course our lead. She worked so hard, Stephanie Mueller, and the rest of the team that worked day in, day out, and making sure that everything was in order. We actually purchased a machine. I don't know what it's called, but Derek Danielson were trained on it, where all the coals that are donated are put in this heat sensor machine that kills anything, any potential bug, anything that's on the clothes. That machine gets so intensely high it makes sure that everything is clean and clear. So I want to again thank the team for organizing that. They're shutting down McGregor on Friday. They shut it down. They're actually moving now to 3615 Main Street. It's another building we own in West St. Paul, and that's where the evacuees still can find supports there. And we have buses, of course, that take those evacuees there and support them and making sure they have the supplies and the stuff they need just to make sure that they can continue to have some comfort while they're away from their villages and reserves. Again, on the site will open Monday, September 25th at 8:30 to 4:30 every day. And a donation center for retail therapy, lunch served Tuesday and Thursdays between 12 and 2. That's happening there too, a donation center. And shuttles, I said, will be available to make sure that people can go and get their supplies they need. If they're short, a lot of things we saw was hygiene was the biggest one. We had a lot, and baby stuff. And that was a big challenge for many of our people and many of the citizens, evacuees that come out from out of town. As you know, a lot of them only came with a backpack, and that's why they're struggling with such demand to get certain things that they need to have from a private and personal way for themselves. Also, we had a great visit on Wednesday, August 20th, from Minister Mandy Galmassity. She's the new Minister for Indigenous Services Canada, And so we truly had a very, very good meeting. We met for, supposed to be an hour, we met for 2.5 hours. And Jeanette Levac, also MP from St. Boniface, and of course that's Lou Riel's great writing of St. Boniface, and Danny Vandels. And Jeanette Levac is the new MP, Liberal MP for that riding, and she was part of the meeting, and she was quite pleased to be part of the discussion and seeing the Métis government in action, and at the same time knowing full well she's also the Parliamentary Secretary for Indigenous Services Canada, and will play a role in helping out as we move forward. Another great visit we had at the same time was Rebecca Chartrand, of course, the Minister of Northern and Arctic Affairs, and she was attending a meeting also with Minister Galmassy. And so I said we had a very good discussion, and of course Rebecca is pushing very, very hard for the North, and she's hoping that the Arctic Gateway and opportunities for Churchill, opportunities for the North, and the economic opportunities that will come from Bill C-5 is going to be essential that we get ready for that. And we are truly getting ready for it. I know the province in Manitoba is developing a Crown Indigenous corporation that will be part of the process of ensuring their participation on all of the opportunities that will come on Bill C-5. Now, we have still a task. Doesn't mean we're going to get it. It does not mean we're going to get these major projects. And let's understand the major projects are going to happen. There's not a question about them. They will happen. The country needs them. It's the country's at war right now, an economic war with the United States, and we need to be sure we're prepared for it in order for us to make sure that we can take the opportunities that come our way. That's why the Premier is moving on his matter. And same thing with the Grand Chief and I, who signed an MOU of a partnership to talk about how we can partner on the economic opportunity that will come our way for Bill C-5. Of course, if we push the North, it's going to be having all the effects happening in the North. But there's no way the North itself can sustain all of the jobs that would be there. We need to have opportunities for all Indigenous people, I'm sure from across Canada, that would be applying there. But we got to do our part to get ready for that. So get Chimmy Weston and I had Chief Daniels. Chie Womajan Nuki Young Wije. I thought Judishna Becky could look me Shasha. We cheat Yok. We cheat Nishna Bem. It wasn't going to Kenotana. You know, Chie Nishna Beckway, Jimmy, I thought we a Kinamagong and Inge what to do among them. You should be young diet. They got a quick end among Cantagao and Young. To Nuki Young, to we cheat Young. Came out to Shiggy to Magisim. Skishkin Omission in Mizzi Nabian, Nuki, see Congress under Nuki and Congress Nuki. So, Nigga go as much a do among Daniel Suganin to we cheat Young. Nuki to me away Scott to become what? And this to become what? Well, I could do Ogima with a chair sat Shuniaston within a kid on Kidding in the North. Nima Shunias was a Chagani here. He shouldn't get who is a sick. Nima chance Kitamin looking to become where Scott yacht. Chiego shouldn't. Kind of sweet, we cheat young, but Kamunia. I'm going to Kanya and Okian. Spoken with chicken up man. So, Chia wouldn't Daniel as it's getting to Nukian together to be cheat young. Nishna Bay can make one way. Nishagi out was Nishna Bay to match we cheat young. Chia go like a sick. But Kishin, Bakana, some where you know, Demagog and Akbangi, we got on all year, and she took content as in that. No chance, good chance to time, and we should match we cheat young. Bakana, we cheat young, for sure, they will give me comment. Kishin can we cheat young, well, when Yaki, Kiri will come on. So, it's not him, dinner. Where you got taken ego. But most Manitou, you can see Tanamiang, Manitou, the question mind to reach Indian. The Shinkan no kissing, well, he get the Magisman. Well, and Shah Samash against get the Magisman. Scale when, like saying, you know, went to a Métis in Kazimwan. Skimming go as a chicken. Gavin, even a chicken. Gavin Ibo Dawe, where the I I buildings, tall buildings, kangas to sin this na buwan an chikitunya. But minika buildings I was tuan, was waka gan mizing I was tuan. Well, Gavin ibung I was tuan. But make it a Daniel to we cheat young. You should be cheat young now. Steve, gave away game into Mino and Madzian. So meaning the kitten and snap them one. Can't we got young? We cheat young. So, and again, in Soto, I said a good message, very loud and clear, that we need to help each other. Our elders have taught us in the past, and prayed, in fact, in the past, that we come together as we did in the past. Let's not forget the days of the past when we did fight together. And let's not even forget, I didn't talk about Riel and Soto, but Riel was the one who made sure that the treaties would be established to protect First Nations, and that's in the actual evidence. It's not made up story, it's a fact. So, but the First Nations were going through some tremendous hard times, and the country was trying to rid the First Nations, whether through putting different illnesses in the blankets to cause chicken pox and different effects that could cause so much damage and harm and death. Residential school to take away the Indian and the child. So many attempts were made to break Indigenous people, and they've not succeeded. They have broken us in some ways. Like I said in Soto, this Tkawen young not to be jealous of each other. My mom used to teach me this a long time ago, and I practiced my life with it. And she used to teach me a long time ago, don't be jealous. If somebody's doing well with their life, be proud of them. Show them as an example that you can do it too. If you work hard and you try hard and you be a good person and work very hard, people will respect you and be proud of you. So I know this jealousy is not the culture way of Indigenous people. It's not your way on reserve. It's not our way in the Métis community either, nor the Inuit community. We've always helped each other, support each other. Where does the jealousy come from that's snuck in and is still there, loud and strong in our villages and communities? It's still there to try to destroy our families, make family fight family. And I'll tell you who brought that in. Munoz brought that in. The government's brought it in. White man brought that in into our communities, to be jealous of each other. Governments strategically put that in place. They did that when they created different systems not to recognize our Métis governments. They did the same thing trying to say that First Nations can't speak for themselves, only the government can speak for them. Now, chiefs have been moving in a different direction and trying to move. But if you move by yourself, you're not going to go very far. But if you work together, all of us work together, we're going to go a long way. Look at natural resources, for example. Look at all these fires, 1 million hectares or more of fire. Guaranteed, without question, a lot of moose died and a lot of game died, a lot of probably birds, animals, all forms of animal life perished in these fires. So it's going to deplete the future. And already we're talking about a shortfall of moose population for our young generation to hunt. 20 years from now, they mean nothing to hunt if we don't work together. We got to help each other. We got to make rules together. We got to support each other. And so this issue about fighting against this agreement that we signed with the Southern Chiefs, if you don't want me to partner with you guys, so be it. The Métis will continue to go ahead. We won't stop, And there's a lot of chiefs that I know personally that want to partner with us because they see that we can do things better if we work together. And there's some, of course, that'll bring the issue of jealousy somewhere deep back, hidden in the shadows. But really, what's the purpose of why you're afraid to work with the Métis? And the Métis are very progressive, hard-working people. And so if you don't want to work with us, so be it. The Métis are not going to stop, I'll tell you that. We're going to keep on building. And my vision is I'm going to make the Federation one of the strongest governments, which it is already, in this country. And I will continue to build our government as we move forward. I'll continue to negotiate our treaty. Our treaty will be introduced this fall in Parliament. I'll continue to push, again, our cabinet, our government. We'll continue to build our economic strength. We're still going to build our pharmacies. We're still going to build our construction companies. And we're still going to buy building after building after building. We're not going to stop. And we're going to build ourselves. And I said many years ago, if I have to, the land that they stole from us, if I have to buy it 1 acre at a time, I'll buy it 1 acre at a time. And that's how we need to do things. But we should be helping each other. I go out of my way, for example, I'll send a message to Pegwas, the chief of Pegwas, if you're listening. Every year, I make it clear to my cabinet we're going to support the Assiniboine Downs because Pegwas owns it. Every year, people go there. Brandon's been lobbying me hard to go to Brandon. Other places have been lobbying me at RBC Center. And I said, no, Pegwas owns the Assiniboine Downs. We're going to support our Indigenous cousins. And that's where we go every year. And we spend a lot of money there. Same thing when we travel. We have a policy. We use Indigenous own businesses first. Like when you go to the pub, we try and use Kikiwak first because it's owned by Opasquia. So we do all these things, and whether we go to South Beach to support the South Beach Casino, there's things that we do as a government to make sure we support Indigenous businesses. The thing I do not see is it being reciprocal, that people are not going, First Nations are not going out their way to support our businesses. Some are, without doubt. Like you look at Cameron Catchway from FKO, Saunan. Like he's just so proud of our pharmacy in Dauphin. You know, he said that's what he wants to do too. He wants to move in that direction, and I will do everything in my power to help him. And any other chief that wants to come forward. That's 2 pharmacies. I'll open a 3rd one in Selkirk. I'll open the 4th one in Brandon, and I'll open more pharmacies throughout Western Canada. But this is what I'm talking about developing economic strength. We can't be dependent on government. If not, we'll be in a welfare state for the rest of our lives, and that can't be. Our rural community right now is 70% unemployment. We've got to find a solution. The province doesn't have one. I spoke to the minister. There is no economic strategy right now that's going to change the unemployment situation and reserves and Métis communities in rural Manitoba. That we all know. There's no factories opening there tomorrow morning to ensure that there's jobs for them. So we got to find our own way. And one of them is starting our own business. Secondly, is this Bill C-5. This opportunity is sitting there. Like I said, the pipelines are going in whether we like it or not. The minerals being shipped into foreign countries is going to happen whether we like it or not, because the country needs to save itself against Trump. The United States is not going to stop attacking this government, our country, on the economic engine. And if it forces a recession, and I tell this guy, the Haitian government is a set of the book Scott. Well, you know, when you on. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling this to the people, the older people, is that what's going to happen is if there's a recession and the government stops having money, the first ones they're going to cut is Indigenous people and the poor people. So don't think it's going to be better. It's going to be worse, and we need to find our way through it. So anyways, enough of that. I'll go to other subject matters, but that's something I'm pushing hard. And again, I congratulate Chief Daniels. I wish him well in his internal matter, and I wish him that he will succeed in moving forward on the agenda that he's trying to push. I think it's important that we find ways to work with each other. Also want to thank Minister Galmassy again, and of course Rebecca Chartrand and the rest of them for supporting us on the Red River Métis Business Directory Indigenous Procurement Strategy. Now, that's a lot of words, right? But what it does mean is this, that Canada has what's called a procurement strategy. You heard me talk about this on a show before. And what it does actually is that Canada has to hire Indigenous businesses. That's what a policy procurement's all about. And it means that there's 5%. Say there's a something for $1 million. Well, 5% of $1 million is going to be $50,000. So they have to spend $50,000 on Indigenous business. If it's $2 million, it's $100,000. And it goes on and on and on and on. So the bigger the project, the more money that could be made for Indigenous people. And so that 5% guarantee is available. But what was happening to Indigenous businesses, including First Nations, they weren't included in what is called a directory, where the government has a role of all the businesses. The problem with that is we never had no say what those businesses were, and there was people stealing our identity and getting that money. And I'm talking hundreds of millions of dollars. I think in 2023, there was $1.6 billion that were spent under this procurement thing for Indigenous businesses. And a lot of them were fraud because people went and used an Indigenous person or themselves claimed to be Indigenous, whether they said they were a fake Métis or not, but they went and got those businesses and opportunities that we should have got. So the reason we couldn't get it is because our businesses were not recognized in their directory, meaning their list of Indigenous recognized businesses. So we got Canada to recognize ours. It's 850 businesses that are registered now. And again, I can't say how proud I am and thank, of course, my team, all the ones that, Pelchi was a lead on that, Lauren from my office. And so I can't say thank you enough to our team in organizing and getting the Government of Canada to recognize 857 registered Métis businesses now. Those businesses are on the recognized directory, so they see a grant, they see a bid coming out, they have a chance to bid on that now, and they will not be denied. They'll be recognized as Indigenous businesses. So again, these are successes, and but it takes years of work, and that we're looking towards the future and organizing ourselves towards that direction. So again, from my perspective, I wish the businesses well. If there's anything I can do to make it even easier or better, I'll do my best to make sure. For example, Skyline out of Portage La Prairie. I think I said Medicine Hat once. I think it's in Moose Jaw, not Medicine Hat. And I think in another location. But they got a contract, just for people to hear your numbers. They got a contract for $11 billion for these military sites. And MMF is part of it. And so is some other bands that are pursuing it too. So it's going to create economic strength and definitely jobs. So again, these are examples where Skyline didn't do it in the goodness of their heart. These are monster businesses. They did it because they want us to be better. They were forced to by what's called a procurement law. That legislation made them clear they had to partner with us. So not that they were wanting to partner us or that they had a big heart. Not that I want to criticize them, but clearly we got in because we fought for ourselves to get recognized as a procurement and Indigenous businesses. So, again, I want to say a special thank you to that team that got it done and get beyond that to the next step. Second, our annual Métis Manor Golf Tournament is happening. It happened on Friday. I got a call from Jesse Vogan already, said they won the tournament. I was supposed to be there, but I made a commitment to our elders. We're getting a lot of calls for fish. And as you know, we donate fish every year to take it to our elders. Derek Danielson travels across the south and north, and we make sure the fish is dropped off and delivered to our elders to make sure they eat the traditional food. So that's going to happen. And I said, we'll go out again tonight. It's my last day here. And then I'm going to go back to work. We're going to go out. We'll probably come in late tonight and hopefully catch as much as we can and to bring home as much as fillets, boneless, let's put it that way, boneless, unless I'm touching, I guess. If I touch some, you're in trouble because you might have some bones. So, but if Derek fillets them, you don't have to worry about it. We had a lot of sponsors for the golf tournament. I want to thank again gold sponsors M. Bills, Métis and Construction, and silver sponsors are McCain Electric, Ambassador Mechanical, LRCC, Nido, Prairie Architects, Aon, and sponsors, and also Barnes and Duncan, Box Steel, our Red River Métis Business Development, Stanley Electric, Gallagher Insurance, Métis Justice Institute, Transcona Roofing. Thank you all for putting money in to support this event. At the end of the day, where this money all goes to Métis Manor. And just for people to say, I have to close off right away. What's Métis Manor? Well, Métis Manor is a place we built on Notre Dame, which will allow our people, when they bring their sick loved ones to the hospital, when they're forced to come for dialysis, and they can't afford a hotel, they can come stay at a Métis business that they own, and they will have a place of comfort and one that's affordable. And clearly, we want to make sure that they have their time to be with their family here, and that facility is now going to be open. We're using for the evacuees of the First Nations in the north. A lot of them were staying there, and they were so proud to be there and so happy to be there. I want to thank all those First Nations that said kind words to us and to our team for saying, well, thank you for giving us a space to stay in, a place of comfort and safety. And by the way, it's a brand new building. And so that's going to be open now for our citizens coming in for seeing doctors and nurses or whatever they have to come for, medical appointments. They have a place to stay. And again, it's called the Métis Manor in Notre Dame. And the golf tournament fundraiser was all about that. So we expect to raise about $30,000 or more. And that'll go to operations and keeping the place available. And again, kudos to Chris Brown, our manager of our golf course. And by the way, people want to rent the RV. I'm going to close off there. It's 131, I believe. The golf RV campsite is ready to rent. So get ready and choose your site. And we'll talk to you next week. Kyra, my time is up.
Thank you so much, President Chartrand. It was great hearing your update here today on the Métis Hour Times 2.
Thank you very much.
Merci.
Bye-bye.